Great, thank you. So welcome everyone to the Clean Energy Development Board meeting, our quarterly meeting. I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order and do a roll call.
Hey, Director Richardson,
Present.
Director Van Dam,
Present.
and Chair Andrews.
Present. Thank you. So the first item on the agenda is to approve our minutes from February, which were included in the board packet. Maybe give folks a couple of minutes to review, scroll through those, and then I take a motion to approve them.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes.
Great. I can second that. Any questions on the minutes, comments? All right, then we can take a vote to approve those.
Okay, Director Richardson,
Aye.
Director Van Dam,
Aye.
and Chair
Director,
Andrews.
just a minute. Director Van Dam, if you could just abstain since you were not actually a board member at that time.
Okay. Yep, I abstain.
Thank you. Go ahead, Laura.
And Chair Andrews.
Aye. I assume we can approve them with just 2 board votes. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, we still have a quorum.
Okay, cool. Great, thanks, everybody. So we did have an agenda item on here to recognize Sid for his service on the board. He's just stepped off, but he is not here today, so I think we might postpone this until he can be here. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. We're gonna, he's out of town right now, so we are going to hold off until our next scheduled quarterly meeting.
Great, thanks. And then we have a new board member today, Ian Van Dam. Welcome, Ian. We're so glad to have you on board. I'm not sure if you want to just kind of briefly introduce yourself. I think you've probably met most of the folks here already, but maybe just tell us your name and maybe a little bit of background, and I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. Excited to be on board. My name is Ian Van Dam. I'm a resident of St. Louis City, live down in the Benton Park West neighborhood. Professionally speaking, most of my work is in the retail space. I have a couple retail shops in Webster Groves, as well as a small liquor brand that I distribute in Missouri. Outside of that, first stuff I do outside of that is hanging around the city, try to get on my bike once in a while, explore new neighborhoods, concerts when I can.
Fantastic. Well, welcome. Like I said, we're glad to have you on the board. All right, moving on to our first I guess we have one resolution on the agenda today, resolution number 24 CEDB 02, to approve and authorize an accounting service agreement with Barnhart Business Services LLC that's dated March 15th, 2024. So again, this was included in our board packet. Josh, I don't know if you want to give us a little bit of background on this.
I can, yes. Thank you, Emily. So unfortunately, the bookkeeper that was approved earlier this year, less than about 35 days after being approved and hired, quit and just closed up their shop completely. So I imagine I'm not the only one surprised. So went through and interviewed about 4 different local bookkeepers, found Miss Barnhart, and so far she's been working with the MEI work that we do, and she's done a very good job. So I highly recommend her. the work product, the outcome, the output is the same as before. So everything that the board needs is something that we'll do.
Great, thanks for that background. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
great, thank you. Any questions or any other follow-up discussion on the resolution?
No, this makes sense. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this to us, Josh. I'm sorry that you had to make the change so quickly after the first one. Let's go ahead and do a vote.
Director Richardson,
Aye.
Director Van Dam,
Aye.
and Chair Andrews.
Aye. All right, so the resolution passes. Next, agenda item is on the conflict of interest policy. I'm not sure who's gonna present on this. Is that Josh or Angela?
I can do that. Yeah, it was included in your packet, or attached to the email with the packet. So you have a hard copy of it also. I've included a box link if somebody wanted that. This is the basic conflict of interest policy that we used for MEI programs. And so I've used it for the other PACE programs that we administer. Laura has run this by internally, correct, Laura?
I did circulate it amongst staff,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so we waited for feedback and everybody seemed to be satisfied that this worked for the purpose of ensuring that the conflict of interest policy is addressed and acknowledged by each of the board members. So what we need for each of the members of the Clean Energy Development Board to read it and sign it and return it to Laura, so that we have that on file. Does anybody have any questions about the policy or any concerns about the policy? No? Okay, so that's basically what we need. If you could do that in the next 30 days, that would be helpful. And then in June, if any are missing, then I'll follow up with an email reminding you that I need that. But they are to go to Laura, okay?
Got it. I did just want to ask if you could talk us through like the process of disclosing a conflict. I mean,
Ah,
I think it's
okay.
it's a fairly, I mean, most boards have some sort of policy and, but I just like to point out that there's nothing wrong with a conflict. You just sometimes, you really need to it's about disclosing it, recognizing and disclosing it. And so I just want to make sure that that's that we talk about that just a little bit, maybe.
Sure. Hang on one second. I need to literally pull it out because as you can guess, my computer's kind of tied up. Basically, within the conflict of interest, if you do have a conflict, it doesn't preclude you from participating, but you do have to acknowledge. And if you have a material conflict, you need to not be included in the vote on anything with regards to that. Darn it. Josh, do you have anything else to add on that while I'm looking for my conflict of interest printout?
Sure. What Emily is sharing is absolutely correct. We have had, as an example, a board member on Show Me Pace who is involved with real estate, and a property that he had an interest in was using Pace. He could not vote on the approval of that project because there was, as Angela put it, a material interest. But you being connected either through friendship or work or something else to a project or something like that, it's simply disclosing it. And that is something that we have, at least in our prior boards, and would work with Jackie, as Jackie and Luke in this case could verify that it wouldn't preclude you from voting. But the worst case, it would simply mean that you would abstain from that vote.
And that is correct. And the MEC, the Missouri Ethics Commission, requires us to have a conflict of interest policy. So we've always had one. So this is an updated one.
Thanks. Any other questions? All right, well, get it signed, and get it to Laura within the next 30 days. We'll be in good shape. Thank you.
Oops, I just,
Next agenda is a proposed legislative change to the PACE legislation at the state level. If you want to talk about that.
Josh, you want to address this one?
Certainly.
We've been following it.
So earlier this year, a state representative provided a change to the PACE legislation. It would remove residential PACE from Missouri statute effective August 24th, end of August. Since then, there have been there's been an addition to it, and that would be to extend the term of PACE loans, PACE assessments from 20 years to 30 years. I can tell you that lenders from around the country, every time that they talk about our program, do wish that we had a longer term. A longer term will most likely have the greatest impact for projects utilizing or attempting to utilize solar, as the useful life for solar panels is longer than 20 years, and wanting that extra 10 years to be able to amortize out the cost of it. There is additional language here that doesn't impact the Set the Pace program. It is there specifically for something else that would allow an entity to bring in funds into their clean energy district, other bonds funds, to create a bond of not only Missouri PACE projects, but other state projects. But most impacting Set the Pace is the removal of residential and the extending of the term.
I
And for
provided a link if anybody wants to follow the legislation.
And just as a reminder, when Y Green left, I did ask residential providers from around the country to participate in our program, and they all declined. It has also been made clear, I reached out to the only other operating residential provider in Missouri that we were aware of, which was Home Run, and they have actually not provided a residential loan in over a year to a year and a half. So they stopped shortly after ours, but this didn't announce that component of the program through the other district. So residential PACE has not been operational in Missouri for at least 12 months.
So Josh, this passed the House, but it's not passed the Senate yet.
Correct. It did pass the, it was voted out of Senate committee last week. And we're in the last throes of session, which is about the next 10 days. And so anything can happen in these 10 days, but there is a significant log jam. So it's very hard to see that it would pass. It has the right, the entities that have pushed it and voted for it are the mortgage bankers, independent bankers, credit unions, realtors, and the other district, the Missouri Clean Energy District, has voted in favor. They don't have the lobbying power that the others do. It's not saying that it's a priority of those organizations, but those organizations do hold a significant political sway. And so if people are looking for an easy win, they may add that. But as any lobbyist would tell you, what that means is then it can become a Christmas tree where other things will be added onto it, and that could kill it. So I don't give it, I don't give it better than 50-50 odds, but that has nothing to do with content. It just has to do with time.
Got it. Yeah, that was my question, if it was gonna make it to the end of the race before next Friday. So sounds like maybe not. Thanks for the update. Do you anticipate that if it does not pass, it'll come back in the next session?
Absolutely. It wasn't introduced until later. like its first hearing, sorry about that, was not until late March. And so my guess is, and the fact that it's had no opposition, it will be introduced in early session next year, and it would pass. Unless something changes in the marketplace.
Any other questions for Josh about this?
Next.
Well, we can move on to the next agenda item, which is a update on a program update.
I included in your packets, there's the collections report and the delinquency reports. So for this year, for 2023 collections, as of the end of March, Marinette has collected 3,300,000 plus some change. But we do have those two facilities that do have delinquencies, and they are substantial. One is the St. Louis Grocery Real Estate, the two stores on North Tucker, the grocery store and the convenience store, and the other one is
Yeah, we
one.
have a couple that's, we don't have to go into exactly who they are, but.
Okay. Well, I listed them here in case you wanted the breakdown. The other one is 1221 Locust. So, and you do have the reports in your packet. Any questions about this? No? Next, we have a new lender, and they are wanting to get approval to participate in Set the Pace. They have two tentative projects. I don't have the details on them, but they've gone ahead and filled out the questionnaire, which I provided you with the link to that, and also the MOU for serving or providing capital in Set the Pace. This is a relatively new PACE provider. They began in January 2021. They're affiliated with Excalibur Capital. That's where they're getting their money. They've made $220 million of CPACE financing since 2021. Now, it's important to note that 102 million of that was one giant multifamily project in California, but the rest of it are CPACE projects throughout the U.S. And they are looking at, like I said, at two in Missouri somewhere. Their terms for financing, minimum term is probably 5 years, and anything that's $2 million or more. Do you have any questions about this? Were you able to look at the information that was sent out?
Yeah, I was able to review the information. I don't have any immediate questions about it.
Okay. They've been very positive to work with, and anything they've asked for, they've provided. So that makes me feel, confident in, their responsiveness. So do we need a vote to approve these, or how do you normally approve new capital providers in Set the Pace? Do you
Yes,
vote?
We don't have, we don't have a resolution for this.
Ah.
Not sure we need to add that.
Oops, sorry.
Right. I do believe in the past we have approved new lenders. I would have to go back and look. And if that is the case, we will require a resolution.
Okay. I looked in the resolutions. I didn't see one, but maybe it's been a while. Maybe I was looking at too new of resolutions. So that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recall a resolution for the others, but usually we were able to tell you that the other two districts or the other district had just approve them to participate. We can,
Let Laura and I check back, check over our files and just to ensure, because if we need to approve it, I don't know if that was something that we've given you administrative authority for. So just let us check that and we'll let you know.
If we need a resolution, I'll put it on the August meeting.
Okay.
And unless they bring us something between now and August, in which case we possibly need to have a special meeting anyway. But
That's fine.
okay, so that's how we'll do that. Just let me know if we need a resolution.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for looking into that, Jackie and Laura. Appreciate it.
Next is we closed a project last month. This is the Brandon View LLC. This is the I feel like I've been talking about this to Josh for a lot. So if I've already said something about this, yeah, I apologize. But this is the old Masonic temple. And they are going to renovate this and put a 143 unit multifamily development here. Really neat building. Total project investment will be 64 million, but 7.3 million of it is for energy efficiency upgrades. There is going to be basically every system in this building is being upgraded, from the elevators all the way to the lighting, the HVAC. There's some really nice energy efficient systems going. And the big exciting thing with this particular building is when it's complete, based upon the energy model, it's actually going to exceed the St. Louis Building Performance Standard, which is a big feather and set the paces cap, I think, that we were able to help a building do this. So the multifamily buildings have a standard of 42.5 kBTU per square foot. And this is going to come out at 39.3, which is significantly lower. So it's pretty exciting. Anybody have any questions about this or need? There is a case study on this, and it is on the website. If you went to Set the Pace and looked at projects and the table there. So we do have that, but just a really cool building.
Thanks, Angela. I will say that EUI 39.3 is very impressive. The target for multifamily buildings is, in my opinion, maybe too low. So so for them to go even lower than that is it's a very good efficiency.
And they are going to have net savings out of it. So they're going to invest 7.3, but they're going to save over 10 million. So that's good too. So, okay.
Do you know, are they taking advantage of any of the federal incentives or Ameren's incentives as part of this program?
We do ask that on the application and they said no, which would be a shame if that's correct. It could be that this is early in the proceeding, so maybe one of two things. The Ameren, it could be too early that they haven't gotten the approval for it because it's custom, or it could be that it's too late. They've already ordered the equipment and therefore it doesn't qualify for incentives. I don't think this is going to qualify for federal incentives because I don't know that it meets the affordable housing. So that but I did ask about the Ameren and they said no, but that doesn't mean now it's no. Because these things start a few months ago, you know. Okay. But this is a neat project. So maybe we can get them to let us do a video when it's all done. We can go in with a video camera and take pictures of some of the equipment and stuff. So.
And you mentioned there wasn't any historic tax credits on this project either.
I don't know about historic. I imagine there probably is historic tax credits. I didn't think there was any like IRA money type based upon what I had on my application, but I bet there is a historic tax credit associated with this. So, which is allowed.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Okay. We have two other projects, and we actually have three, but I don't have enough information on the third one but we have two projects that are in the pipeline. Still the developers are still working out details. And then got an email that there will be another one coming in probably later this summer maybe. So that will be on your next one. But right now, one is lender driven, one is market driven. But we're moving them out because we had three for a long time and now we have two. And then we'll have three again. So Ian, one of the things that I joke now is PACE doesn't just stand for Property Assessed Clean Energy, but it also stands for Patiently Awaiting Clean Energy, because some of these take a long time to complete. Next is our outreach and education. We've been doing a lot of interacting and collaborating with other organizations. We had that presentation with the Building Energy Exchange of St. Louis, and we have another one planned in Kansas City, but that doesn't concern you. I know you don't care about that. I'm trying to stay on top of what One STL is doing. They have a meeting next Tuesday that I'll be attending virtually probably, but I feel that there's some parallels, and for commercial buildings, Set the Pace is a tool that they can use to achieve their own energy efficiency and sustainability goals. We are going to be presenting at the end of this month at the CCIM, which is the local commercial real estate certification organization. We'll be talking about PACE financing there. Josh is going to do that presentation. Been attending the Missouri Municipal League meetings. There's one next week in Arnold that's actually for the St. Louis and St. Louis metropolitan area that I will be going to and talking to people there about Set the Pace, that I meet. And then finally, PACE Nation and PACE Alliance are two national PACE organizations that we belong to, and we actively participate with those organizations to make sure we stay on top of trends and what the market is expecting. Josh, do you have anything to add on the organizations we've been working with?
Yeah, two things that I think will be interesting to the board is one is I'm sure you're aware that the Solar for All grant was announced, and the city was part of a winner there. One of the partners that we've supported, I think the city's also partnering with, and that's EIERA. We are a technical advisor on that grant, so we are looking to support that component. Obviously, I think PACE's integration into that is a possibility. That same entity, which is the state bonding entity, EIERA, also was awarded some funds through the Green Bank development. We don't know how much that will be, but part of that discussion may also be putting funds or projects that come to PACE that we can't find lenders for, and then putting that through EIERA. And that may be from a couple different angles, right? Location, sector, size. So those are conversations we're having with them, and we'll continue to encourage those entities. Additionally, MEI is been awarded a sub-grant awardee through DOE's CTAP program, which is the Technical Assistance Program through University of Illinois, Chicago. Currently, or historically, has always provided the Combined Heat and Power Technical Assistance Program. That is now expanded to on-site generation. And so with that comes an opportunity to both provide education to larger facilities about ways to do energy efficiency, but also whether that's solar or storage or a variety of other ways for on-site generation that we would include. PACE can be, MEI will be bringing both what we're doing with that CTAP program will be bringing PACE to those industry users, and believe that will be an assistance for those larger users as well. And then we did just announce the agenda for our Midwest Energy Policy Series on renewables and efficiency, where PACE will be a component of multiple sessions. While it won't be held in St. Louis, it will be held in Columbia, Missouri. We are bringing in, national leaders on the renewables and efficiency stage. We fully expect folks both from this region and nationally to learn about projects that we've done. And I think will bring a better highlight and increase awareness about PACE, which will then ultimately increase the number of PACE projects that we have. And those are the main things right now.
And then the last thing on here is that we have been sending out a monthly newsletter on PACE activities in Missouri. Hopefully you all are receiving that. If you're not, please go to the website and which is setthepacestlouis.com and sign up for the newsletter so that you see what we're doing there as far as outreach and information. Newsletter goes to over 4,000 contacts, I believe. So it is well distributed, should we say.
It's up to 5,000 now, but yeah.
Oh, is it up to, okay. That's over 4. Okay. So, and then as I mentioned, we are members of PACE Nation, and PACE Nation put together a really cool kind of overview of 2023, what PACE programs around the nation are doing. And it does include Missouri and what Missouri's doing. A couple things that I wanted to point out to you from this report, which the link to the whole presentation is there. But 28% of US cities and towns and villages are part of a PACE program, but 70% of population lives in PACE enabled areas. And what that means is this is a great vehicle for urban metropolitan areas to develop energy efficient buildings and renewable energy systems. You'll notice here, there's been a huge jump in the size of PACE projects. Pre-COVID, they were quite small. Post-COVID, we're looking at really big projects, and I'm seeing that even in Set the Pace. We had 6-figure projects, and now almost all of them seem to be 7-8-figure projects. So we're seeing a growth in the size of projects, whether that's due, it can't be solely inflation, but the projects are getting bigger, the project size. And then there were some market trends that I thought were interesting. In addition to the larger size of projects and more new construction projects, there's more legislation. It's one of the thing is there's lower, in this study, they found that there was fewer downtown projects. And part of that was the high office vacancy. And we're seeing that also. We see more hospitality or multifamily or those type of projects, not so many office buildings these days. The challenge is high interest rates. High interest rates are the market is dealing with them. Depressed commercial real estate market and struggling office sector, specifically office sector, but we're seeing more and more activity in multifamily and industrial developments. We're also seeing, it seems like I've seen a lot of questions come in about industrial, and then also hospitality still remains a kind of hot area also. One place where we're not getting as many questions as I thought we would is renewable energy systems, but I think that will change over time as more and more people look at the ITCs and PTCs and see that renewable energy actually has become more affordable. And then a lot of places are continuing their mortgage lender education. That's kind of a trend for outreach. So those are some things you might see if you go to this link. Any questions? Comments? Observations? No.
I actually,
Well-
I do have a suggestion actually for outreach. If they weren't already on your radar, is to get in front of the St. Louis Regional Green Business Challenge.
They aren't on my radar. You're okay.
can-
I thought about it. I thought about even like Cortex. Cortex is doing that expansion, that $26 million expansion. And I did think, boy, we should talk to Cortex alone. But we don't typically pursue a project. We just try to get the information out, and then whoever needs it uses it, right? But okay, I will add them to my list of people to talk to.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean, it's kind of a captive audience of the participants that can be as many as like 50 different companies, you know, that are part of the program, so.
And I saw that is that Anna leading that up, or who is
No,
leading that?
That's managed at the Missouri Botanical Garden by the Earthway Center.
Okay,
So I can connect you, Angela, to Jean and Jacqueline. Those are the
okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'll make a note of that.
So the only other note that I would, Angela had pointed out that the larger projects, and as you noticed, the lender today, their minimum was 2 million. We had a lender that I can tell you when we started this program, their minimum was 500,000. They notified us last month that their minimum is now 5 million. So it is part of the industry in general that's kind of leaning towards that. I do think the other components that Angela mentioned are there. I will say we are working on a program that will fund projects between 100,000 and 500,000. While we didn't receive any of the greenhouse reduction funds, we have moved forward with a partner to develop that we hope to present to you, if not at our next meeting, definitely before the end of the year, to hopefully address that issue of how do you fund smaller projects.
that's.
So something to look forward to.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Josh. I think it is important to be able to offer that to some of the smaller businesses and smaller commercial buildings in our area, so. Let's see, what's left on the agenda?
Less. Well, there's the open agenda. If anybody has any, any on the agenda, it said open agenda at that point.
So anything else that we need to cover or that anyone wants to discuss?
No, not today.
And we don't need an executive session for anything today, correct?
No.
All right, well then I will make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second that. And we don't really need a roll call for that one, do we? No. And I'll just say.
No, I'm sorry. All you need is to,
Yeah, okay.
you don't need a roll. I'm sorry, you don't need a roll call vote, just all in favor.
Yeah. Aye. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Our next meeting is August 14th, unless we have a need for a special meeting, you know, for whatever reason, if a project pops up. So I guess I'll see you all then.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all.